talk about why you should learn plugins in 2026 if you have virtual instrument plugins. Three compelling reasons. Number one, and probably the most obvious, you'll know how to use them. Number two, you'll have a better color palette. And number three, I think this leads to better overall music production. So three is kind of the result of the previous two. But number one, you'll know how to use them. You know, I started this journey, if you will, back in 2022 and learning my software instrument. Well, I started learning them before that, but I started sharing what I had learned in 2022 with the Una Corda video. And I think just there's this tendency to get caught up in what we call gear acquisition syndrome, or GAS, which it just sounds funny to me, but it is a thing. You know, if it could be hardware, it could be software, in my case software instruments. And so getting caught up in that, or trying not to get caught up in it, rather, I think part of the antidote is learning how to use what you already have in your arsenal. And then once you learn what you already have, then that leads to better color palettes. Now, I'm not synesthetic, so I don't see colors with sounds all the time. Sometimes I do. But for example, we could look at something like piano colors, right? So now that has a very soft tone. You can see I'm using Butter Soft preset, and that is an example of how a tone that's very soft and mellow. Now if I were to activate this other one, play the same piece, very different feeling. Now this one is like clearer, colder, perhaps. I don't know if there's a word for hearing temperatures with sound, but I seem to have that ability for some reason. So it's not unique to me. Not exclusive to me, I should say. My perception is unique to me, of course. So that being warmer. And if you wanted a more subdued tone, this is what I mean by color palette. And then that's just with pianos. If I were to play this with another instrument, like let's say a viola, so same notes, largely, of course. Not being able to play chords with a viola is probably not a fair comparison, but when you put these colors together, it just gives, I don't know, a feeling, a mood. So that's a helpful thing when learning color palettes, and overall I think that leads to better music production. Now, going back to reason number one of the things that makes it nice is knowing how to mix your different, as I duck under there to see, to mix your different instruments together, knowing how they work. Now what I've done with the cooler piano sound, which is now muted, that is on mute, yes indeed. So you can see that I have Noir, felt, and I also have the Una Corda and the Gentleman. Now if I turn off Noir, let's do that. So So we just have the lighter sound of the gentleman. And the gentleman is an older one. It has a different tone than the unicorda, but you're hearing still the sound of the pianist. Now, once I learned that the gentleman does not have a pianist sound, by the way, only out of this selection of three, Noir and unicorda have the pianist thing. But one of the things I learned about unicorda is that you can actually turn, well, let's solo it, you can turn the main sound off. Yet another color. But I just wanted the sound of the pianist, actually. You can turn them all off individually. I could turn on, let's say I could just turn on the fabric. I could turn on just the mechanical. But the thing is, the gentleman already has the mechanical sounds, and I already have the felt sounds from Noir Felt, so I just wanted to have, right? So keep that one muted. I wanted to have the pianist sound with the gentleman. And then I added another piece, which was Noir Felt, and then you have the felt. We do that by itself. Alright, and that's that, and that's good. And you had the creaking of the pianist in there, but it's a little more of a mellow sound going to the color palette. So wait, that's not it. That's the gentleman. Here we go. Okay, and then when you put them together, then of course. So layering, that's something you can do with knowing how it works. Now there are many other things that you can do with this that just, for example, with Noir, I wanted to use the particle engine from Noir and another piano, and so there's a way to turn the main piano sound off. And I guess the whole point is that when you know how to use an instrument, then it can actually, in perhaps a more tangible way, help to improve your music productions. Whereas if you just buy the instrument and say, oh, this sounds great, this is going to automatically elevate my production, it's not. Not on its own. Now, some things sound great out of the box, but really when you learn how to use it and shape it, and I've got all of these running through, when you learn how to use it and shape it, this the other one I have running through an EQ to further shape those piano sounds together. So learning all of that kind of helps to, shall we say, enhance the effect of having gear, and then also keeps you from going broke for buying a bunch of gear all the time. So anyway, this was a bit rambly, a bit of a tangent there at the end and possibly in the middle as well, but that's just not a resolution really, but kind of a way of doing things in this new year and every year really, but I just thought I'd put a light on it at the beginning of the year. So that is all for that. I will invite you now to check out the videos that YouTube is recommending for you, and we'll see you in another video. Stay curious.